Well, hello there, folks. How are we doing today? Hopefully, you're all doing absolutely fantastic. Hopefully, you're really enjoying your day and things like that. I've been looking at some of this stuff because they're doing a bunch of stuff for the old world coming back. And like, hey, returning to the old world with Warhammer Plus. Wow, you can get battle reports. Look at that boy. He has a little reliquary on his hat. Because, you gotta keep the lady with you at all times, huh? Um, yeah, they're doing this kind of stuff. And something I can find kind of funny is that, like, when you show, like, newer models, like these guys next to, like, these guys, it kind of looks a little silly because the sort of skeletons look a bit silly. But whatever. They're going through all this stuff, but then it's like, oh, subscribe now. Do you want to subscribe? Wow, subscribe. It's like, no, I don't want to subscribe. Thank you. But yeah, they have all this stuff up. But then I saw this, which is the Old World Almanac, design roundtable on how New World was written, blah, 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 blah. All that good stuff. They're using old Warhammer art. In fact, I don't think I've seen a single new piece of art. No, I think I've seen a couple, but like mostly they've just been using old Warhammer art because it's really good and they have a bunch of it. Um, but they're talking about all these different things that are happening and all these imminent events and blah 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 blah. But then I saw this. These are the armies that are going to be in Warhammer: The Old World. So basically, a bunch of these are like not going to be in here. I just wanted you to look at this: Bretonnians, Empire of Man, Dwarven Mountain Holds, High Elf Realms, Wood Elves, Beastmen, Orc and Goblin Tribes, Warriors of Chaos, and Tomb Kings of Cameron. Okay, so I have one very important question for you.
Where are my red boys? I want red boys. Red boys, red girls, all of them. I want them.
Where are they? They're not here. Where are my large boys? Where are my ogres? They're not here either. They are not a part of this lore. They are not allowed to be part of this lore. They are no
boys.
No ogre for me. No rat for me. No Druchii for me, because there's no Dark Elves either.
This is the worst.
You don't even have like half of the cool races. You don't have lizardmen. You don't have any of these other things. You don't have like. You're missing a bunch of different races. Now, some of them you could say, oh well, maybe you don't really need them and stuff like that. But here's my thought. I think the reason they're including some armies and not others is because they want it so that you can't collect one army for both. But then that didn't make sense to me because Beastmen, because, Age of Sigmar and stuff like that. Because Skaven are in Age of Sigmar and things like that. But then that doesn't actually make that much sense because Warriors of Chaos, a lot of the models you can use for them are, just going to be from Age of Sigmar. And then a lot of the models you can use for Beastmen are going to be, you can get from Age of Sigmar, unless they're going to say, no, you have to use different models, which I don't know how the heck that would work. But yeah, it's just really disappointing. The Empire Man I love. I do like these factions, but it's like, man, I want my ogre boys. I want my rats. I want my lizardmen. I want all kinds of other things. And it's just like I look at this and I go, oh, well, this is kind of lame. Not a mean Jimmy Dean. I think we need more different things, but we don't get different things. Why do we don't get different things? Bad. And then I'm also sitting here thinking about like, man, that old art is really fantastic. But then I'm just sitting here thinking about like how we're not going to be able to what's the point of their swords at? It's a head. How we're not gonna get all the armies we want. How we're not gonna get the I mean, it looks like for a lot of things they're just using older models. Like, oh, let's see here. If we go to Warhammer Community right now, we can look. So, roundtable painting, and let's see here. I'm painting the miniatures, and then there's another one for. I think there's another one for Tomb Kings. Whatever. But if you look at like a lot of these are just the old miniatures. Like, look, those are the old skeletons. Those are the, like, so we're not even getting, like, a lot of new miniatures, it looks like. It looks like we're getting a couple of new miniatures and then they're just reusing molds to make things. So they're not improving the miniatures, it seems like, for a lot of things. These are like some of the new ones, but then you just look at the quality of these ones versus these ones, and it's like, well, okay. So now my army's gonna look kind of weird because the quality is gonna be all over the place because they're gonna look different. And you know, like this is way better. That this damsel's way better than the old one. Um, or I guess this is a named. Oh, yeah, I guess it is a named character. Um, this looks fine. But for a lot of these things, basically what we're seeing is that we're gonna have a bunch of old miniatures next to the new ones, and I think, well, you can even see here because I is this one of the older, slightly older Tomb Kings? I think they look a little bit weird next to each other. Well, this one looks a little bit weird next to these. These two are a little bit fine next to each other. This one looks a little off. So it's like you see this and it's like, well, what are they doing? What exactly are they going for here? And is it just, I mean, so what are they just, they're just going to release a bunch of these old miniatures and just call it good? Is that what we're doing here? Which, I mean, you know, fine. It's not like I'm not like gonna storm the castle because of that, but at the same time, you got to sit here and think, well, this just seems like it's just trying to milk a franchise. This doesn't seem like they care and really wanted to bring it back. This seems kind of like, oh well, we have the ability to remake these old miniatures, so we're gonna. And it's like with the old world stuff, it's like at this point now you can get 3D prints that look so much better than any of these. Like for like probably what's going to be a quarter of the price. I was just looking at Drukari because, well, you know, I kind of like a lot of Drukari models, but like it's like 45 bucks for 10 Kabalite warriors. And I was thinking about the way the prices are going for like Warhammer in general. Are they going to sell these old kits for like what? 45 for 10? Are they going to do that? Because if they are, then some of these armies are going to get prohibitively expensive. I mean, they're not that Games Workshop isn't already very expensive, of course, but I mean, what are they going to do? 10 Empire State troops for like 45 bucks and stuff like that, which I think they did that for Age of Sigmar or something similar. How is the pricing going to be here? This just seems like it's going to be kind of bad. If I'm just perfectly honest, it just seems like they're just going to reuse models. Warriors of Chaos has got a range updates that they're kind of fine, and Beastmen have a lot of newer models, but, well, newer than some of these are going to be, for sure. Some of these might be playing with kits from, like, almost the 80s. Well, not quite the 80s, but probably early 90s, if they don't update them. So, what are we doing here? I mean, are we going to have the same thing we had with the old dwarf warrior boxes, where basically they just have a single body and like cape and all that stuff, and then you have to put on a beard, and then one hand is like clutched to their chest and the other hand is going to be free? Is it, so we're going to go back to that? What exactly are we doing here? How many of these are going to get new kits? How many of these are going to, and by new kits, I mean more than a couple. Right now, everyone I've seen, there's like maybe 4 new kits, including heroes for Bretonia. Well, maybe 5, because I think I've seen 2 knight heroes, a group of knights on foot, a damsel. Huh. I don't think I've seen any new things otherwise, so I don't know. This just seems like it's going to be kind of weird. I I really don't like that they're not including several of like the most iconic races. And my original thought was, oh well, they don't want you to be able to just take stuff you already have for Age of Sigmar and play it. Kind of makes a lot of sense because Beastmen are already, you know, a faction in Age of Sigmar that you could just bring these guys over, except for, you know, can't bring people like Kragnos or whatever. And, you know, I mean, Warriors of Chaos just have a bunch of miniatures that just got updated for like Slaves of Darkness. But I don't know. I mean, it just kind of seems like it's not gonna be great. And every time I see more about this, it just keeps looking like it's not gonna be great. I don't know. I kind of just wanted to get this out there and just see what other people thought. Because I really like the old world. I really like Warhammer Fantasy. It was the game I played the most back in the day. I played a bunch as dwarves and goblins. Because I had a dwarf army and an orc and goblin army. I briefly had an Empire army, but I never really played it. It was a small Empire army. Knights of Warhammer. Hold on, table B. Yeah, I don't know. I'm just not. Oh, and these are one of the new models, which are pretty good. I know some people really like these. I think this is some of these look a little silly, but of course, you know, it's Warhammer Fantasy, so it's supposed to be a little silly, I think. But yeah, that's kind of funny. But for a lot of these, it's just kind of like this is just what we're gonna get. Like, there's a couple of new kits, and it seems like we're mostly gonna use the old kits. Which, if I'm just perfectly honest, the standards for miniatures have gone up quite a bit since then, and I think a lot of these older kits we're gonna look at are not gonna look that great. And I mean, unless you have like a lot of nostalgia for it, I'm not 100% sure why you would spend the prices that they're probably gonna come out. But the prices is something I gotta back off on, like hammering on, just because we don't actually know what the prices are gonna be yet. I just have a feeling based on Games Workshop, unless they're gonna just change the way they've been pricing things, that'll be a lot. Anyway, I don't know. I just wanted to share those thoughts, and I hope that you're all having an absolutely wonderful day, and I hope that you know that I love you and God loves you, and bye, I love you, bye. Have a good one, bye.